Hello everybody and welcome to day 4 of my action project, aka the last day. So hard to believe. Today we are going to be wrapping things up by talking about ways in which we can combat or cope with body image issues and beauty standards and all of that. So this kind of ties up everything we've talked about the past 3 days, and hopefully leaves us on a note of encouragement and hope that we can live in a world with these things and still think positively of ourselves, and maybe even change our mindsets when we first see another person and not be so quick to judge and all the things. So to start this video, I just wanted to go over some answers that you guys provided me, or on my Instagram story. I asked the question, as a society, what is one way that we can eliminate beauty standards? And I received a bunch of different issues that I'd like to go over. I have pulled out my old phone for this because I've had 2 phones, one for the club and one for the lower. Okay. Anyway, and I got a bunch of different answers. So I just want to go over those really quick. So someone said include those who have body differences in magazines and advertising, the media, etc., which I think is a really good idea and a really great starting point in how we as a society intake beauty, and kind of see from the media that there is more than one type of ways to be beautiful. 2 of the guys who answered both said that we can't change beauty standards, that because they are constantly changing and evolving, that there's no really real way to change them, which I thought was very interesting and very good points. Someone said get rid of dating shows because they set up false expectations for guys and girls, which is a very good point and very interesting to note. And then someone said probably spending a lot less time on things that clearly bring up beauty standards. So I assume that means the media and reading magazines and just things that aren't necessarily real and natural. So those are just some things that you guys said, which I think are very good points and all very interesting, and interesting that they're all very different. Some things that I kind of remind myself when I kind of start comparing myself to others is this quote that I saw on Twitter or Pinterest or one of those social media platforms a few years ago. And it said that Christmas lights and flowers are both beautiful, but they're both used and their purposes are both different, which, has really stuck with me, because how true is that? Christmas lights are beautiful in their season and flowers are beautiful in their season. And we don't compare them, we just recognize them for the beauty that they are. And I think that's really interesting. So I think, yes, standards are changing over time, but I think just recognizing that everyone is their own kind of beautiful, and there's not one specific body type and face type that you have to have in order to be beautiful is important. And one other thing I wanted to bring up, I'm gonna bring up my phone again, is that a few days ago I put a question on my Instagram poll, and I asked, if you feel insecure about your body, what do you think the main cause is? And the majority of people who answered said it was self-perception, which I think is very interesting and very understandable, because we oftentimes are our own worst critics. And I think that by affirming to yourself that you are beautiful and being thankful for the body that you have and how capable it is and the things it allows you to do is very important. And and yeah, and so I don't know if you guys have ever heard the quote, you can't pour from an empty cup, but like if you don't treat yourself with kindness, and if you don't like look at yourself as beautiful, then how are you going to view someone else as beautiful? So you kind of have to make sure that like you are speaking kind truths to yourself, and just knowing that you are beautiful no matter what anybody else looks like, and having enough confidence in yourself to understand that. So yeah, that's another thing. The second I guess most answer on for this question was social media, which is not surprising at all. Like, you know, we follow all of these like wellness accounts and exercise accounts, and see people like girls with rock solid abs, and guys who are 6 feet tall and like have all the muscles, and you know, promote all of this stuff. And it's hard not to compare yourself to those people and want to be like that when you expose yourself to that every day. So I think also just being aware of the type of accounts you follow, and choosing what to take in and what to kind of be like, okay, that's great, but like I'm satisfied with what I'm doing in my regime and my routine, and I'm not getting caught up in what everyone else is doing, and staying true to you. So yeah, I think I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, one more thing I did want to bring up is that I think it was, it had sometime earlier in the week, I put another question on my Instagram story, and I said, how do you define beauty? And of all of the responses that I got, none of them mentioned looks. Not one single one mentioned looks, which I thought was so beautiful. And you know, I got the answers: genuine people who are themselves, their soul, the way they treat people, when someone is passionate about something, loyalty and a good heart, personality. I got a lot for personality, the way they love themselves, their love for life, how they treat you, all these things. And I think it's so interesting that like all of these answers have nothing to do with looks, but a lot of people also answered to the question, do you like how you look about yourself? A lot of people said no. And so, but at the same time, like, we see that the way that you look doesn't make you beautiful. Like, how you are on the inside, how you treat people, your personality, that is what makes you beautiful. And I know it can be tricky to kind of like see all of these people and think, oh, like I wish I was that pretty, and start playing the comparison game. But like, there's no need when, you know, you're confident in yourself, and yeah, and I do think that it is a mindset, and I think it does take some training, and that's where, you know, neuroplasticity comes in, and like being able to rewire our brain. And you know, when you look at yourself in the mirror thinking, oh, I look good, or I look beautiful, instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not wearing makeup, I look terrible, or like I don't look as good as so and so. And that goes for both guys and girls. All of these things goes for both guys and girls. So yeah, those are just some ways that I've kind of thought of that you guys have shared, which I really appreciate. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for this whole week. It has been such a joy getting to do this, and I love the feedback from you guys. It's been really cool to see that this project is like, I'm not helping, but like is informative. And yeah, so that's it for my action project. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Have a great day, life, everything, and you are beautiful, okay? Okay, goodbye.